So, ship customization tends to divide the No Man's Sky community quite a lot. Some players really want it added into the game as a new feature, at least in some capacity, and others prefer to be ship hunting and don't want anything to do with ship customization. So I decided to ask you guys what you thought, and there was a pretty great response along with some great ideas put with them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get stuck into those results. Now, if you've ever lurked in the No Man's Sky related subreddits on the topic of ship customization, or in some of my videos where I talk about updates, this topic comes up quite a lot, and if you were just reading through these, you'd think that there'd be a rough split down the middle of players who want it versus players who don't. But the results I got didn't quite agree with that at all, and I'll get onto that in just a few minutes. But full transparency from me, if you're curious which side of the fence I sit on when it comes to ship customization, I very much want it added as a new feature in the game. Now, I think this probably stems from many years of me playing games like Need for Speed back in the day and customizing my cars to the nth degree. I mean, it's just something I really enjoyed doing in the past, and I know I'd enjoy doing something similar in No Man's Sky with my starships. And also the fact that I now play Starfield and that has it as a feature as well just made me want it in this game even more. Now, regardless of your opinion, it's worth getting to all sides of the story when it comes to ship customization to see what the other side think. So briefly, I'll go into why some players don't want to add it as a new feature, and the overwhelming reason here really is they just love ship hunting. Like, there are a lot of No Man's Sky players out there whose primary objective in the game is to hunt out the rarest and best ships, whether they be crashed ones or ones you can find on board space stations or at trade terminals. But basically, if the ship customization was to be added to the game, it would effectively make ship hunting redundant for them, because who wants to hunt for rare and unique ships when you can just create one of your own? And that's fair enough. I think that makes complete sense why they don't want it, because it would ruin their main goal of the game. But I think there is a way to keep ship hunters happy whilst also having ship customization in the game, and I'll get onto that in just a minute. Now, one comment on the poll mentioned that it would be cool to limit ship customization to your cockpit only and then just leave it there. Now, I think this would be a fairly small but neat addition to ships for some players. I personally have never had my camera within the cockpit myself, but I know a lot of players do, and currently there isn't exactly a wide variety of ship cockpits. You've got regular starship ones, living ship ones, and sentinel ones, and I think it would be a great partial customization addition for those of you who fly in first person, or so to speak. Now, it's worth noting for this poll, I also added in another option aside from yes I want it and no I don't, and that was to have partial ship customization. And what I really mean by that is having, say, the ability to customize the paint job of our ships, similar to how we can already do that for our freighters, exocraft, and our exosuit, of course. I mean, the fact we have this in other areas of the game but not for our ships is a tad confusing, but some players are also freighter hunters, granted less of them, but if we can customize those paint jobs, why can't we customize our starship paint jobs? Like, we could also add the decals that we can unlock an anomaly to it as well and create our very own ship livery, which would be a neat addition. And doing this wouldn't really ruin ship hunting, because changing the colour of a ship would preserve the ship's rarity, so exotic ships, squid ships and other rare ones would still remain rare. Now, another suggestion from the poll, which actually got quite a lot of thumbs up as well, including one from myself, was this one, so I'll put it on screen and give you a chance to read it before I babble on about it in a little bit more detail. So, having a feature where we can use parts from ships we've scrapped to build another custom ship, I think is a great idea, not only because it means we can build our own ship literally from scratch, rather than customize an existing one, but it should also appeal to you ship hunters out there as well, because this would still require you to go hunting for ships with specific parts you actually want, to build the exact ship you want. Now, of course, the third and final option on the poll was yes to ship customization, and as I said at the beginning of the video, this is where I stand, but I think we shouldn't just automatically get the ability to customize our ship, and instead I think we should need to earn it in some way. There was a comment and suggestion from user JZ999, and they mentioned special items should be obtained from mission boards or from the anomaly, which not only gives us new missions but also makes them worthwhile by giving us specific ship parts we need to create our very own ship, or customize an existing one. I also think there is a way ship hunters could possibly come over to the idea of ship customization, because instead of hunting out ships, you could go hunting for ship parts instead. Now, I actually think this would be more fun and more in depth than actual ship hunting, because there will be many more items we can actually find. We could go hunting for all sorts of components including wings, thrusters, noses, cockpits and everything in between. And that's just the cosmetic side of things as well. We could get specific technology upgrades as well. Now of course we already do have that, but I'd like to make sure, and another commented by the name of Darkrun mentioned the same thing, if you do get some of these upgrades, effects, stats, then they're only minor. So what that means is basically we can't turn a hauler into a fighter or anything like that. It's actually one thing that slightly annoys me with ships the way they are at the moment in No Man's Sky. So I could get a fighter and upgrade it to the max and have the same storage as a hauler, which I don't think should actually be possible. We have different ship types. When they're fully upgraded, they're all, I don't know, relatively similar in stats wise, when I really don't think they should be. Like, for example, a fighter should be able to achieve a much higher damage potential than a hauler or an explorer, but it should never be able to reach the storage capacity of a hauler or the warp distance of an explorer. Anyway, enough of me babbling on, let's get on to the actual results of the poll. So, as you know, I asked a question on whether or not players want to see ship customization added into the game, and, as well as yes and no answers, I added in the partial option, which covered things like custom paint jobs, only with decals, and all of that good stuff. So, overall, as of the creation of this video, since I posted this poll a few days ago, there have been a whopping 470 votes. Yep, a whole 470. So basically the entire No Man's Sky community, right? I joke of course, but nevertheless the results are pretty conclusive and probably reflects the rest of the No Man's Sky player base, at least to some degree. So, a total of 88% of No Man's Sky players who voted would like ship customization added to the game either completely or partially. And the other 12% would prefer we don't get ship customization in any aspect at all. Like, these results are actually pretty different from what I was expecting, because I thought a high percentage of players would prefer not to have ship customization in the game, because when I read about this topic on Reddit and in YouTube comments, it really does seem more like a 50-50 split. But, as you can see, it appears the vast majority of you actually do want ship customization added into No Man's Sky, at least to some degree. So, Sean, the players have spoken, let's get on it. Now, I joke of course, who actually knows if Hello Games are actually going to introduce this in a future update, but it appears myself and a lot of others actually want it added. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you didn't manage to vote in my poll, why not leave a comment on what you think about ship customization as a feature in No Man's Sky. And if you're still here, it would be totally awesome if you could support my channel by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. You can now also become a channel member as well, where I'll be posting coordinates to a whole bunch of super rare and unique items and places to visit. You'll also get some unique emojis and badges when leaving a comment, so what's not to love, right? And as always, thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.